our detectives in the SAPS. With that, let me just open up the floor to some questions, please. If there are any questions. Okay, you know the drill. Please introduce yourself as well as the media organization that you represent. We'll take the first row, which I see 4 hands. Go ahead, my sister.
My question, okay, 2. On the firearms, I see it is commendable that there are firearms that are being seized, that are being recovered. However, it seems that it's a cycle of these firearms being seized, but you always find firearms in the hands of the killers. How are they, maybe through the investigation, how are they landing out in the hands of the killers? Is it through robbery? Are police officers are they being stolen from our police officers? Just if you can just tell us the how, maybe through what you have found so far. And just to focus on the eThekwini, you said you will focus on eThekwini and put a special focus there. Can I just ask what it would look like? I know that you cannot tell us all your intelligence and give out any of those things that can be lead to the criminals. But I would like to know what can we expect? How will it be visible to us as the people of eThekwini? How will we see that things are changing? Thank you.
All right, let's take one more.
It's also from Eyewitness News. Minister, you speak that the committee also establishes a way that seeks to fast-track these cases. Will you be establishing a special court which will deal with these cases in this regard? But also, if Mr. Jola can take this, what seems to actually be the program with regards to these cases? Like the minister mentioned that the children is taking too long. From your perspective as a prosecutor, what's taking those cases so long? Because it seems these trust teams or committees that have been established do really work when it comes to apprehending these suspects. But also, Minister, so it seems that you are working in a fast pace and a critical phase with regards to arresting the suspects. How far is the committee to getting to the masterminds in this regard? Thank you.
All right, let's just take one more question. I think there was one here. If there is one question, go ahead. Yeah.
I've got 4.
Okay, let's take you a bit later. Let's take just one question so that we can couple it.
Sure. Steve Bailey from East Coast Radio. My question is, I'd just like to understand from Steve Bailey, East Coast Radio.
East Coast Radio.
No, those shows. My question is, you speak of related, events which contribute to killings as well. I'd like to hear what your strategy is around the problematic construction mafia as well as issues of hospitals, especially in KZN. That is a huge one. And also, what confidence could you give the people of the country, even in KZN, that come election time next year, tensions would have simmered down as far as political killings, because we expect them to be at times.
All right, Minister, could I, with your permission, ask maybe the advocate to start with that one response, and then you can take the rest of the questions. You can come here. Thank you.
Members of the media, and also greeting the Minister. Yes. Tlantla, I will start with your questions, especially when it comes to the issues of delays in court. Firstly, you are always with us. There is a matter of Sindiso Makaka. You are following that matter very well and closely. That matter, most of the delays are coming from the defense side. Our state witnesses, already we have about 2 of them that are in the witness protection. So the delays are trying to discourage the prosecution and also further to discourage the witnesses not to come and testify and not to testify to court. There is another matter, we call it Richmond 20, a member, general manager from Richmond. That member was assassinated in year 2019. That case hasn't been started up until to date. There are 10 attorneys that have changed hands. That matter, it is still coming in September. That is on the 7th of September, still for attorney in respect of that particular matter. There is another matter which is not mentioned here as well, of Pelago and Chetty. Those two are the police officials that were found committing a series of offenses. The bail application, we started in that matter, that was last year in November. We only managed to finalize the bail application, only the bail application in July. The delays were not on the state side. The delays were coming from the defense as well. They were opening their cases once we produced this evidence that is against them. They would want to reopen their cases in order to disprove our evidences. So those are the challenges that we're having. We had a meeting in the office insofar as these cases are concerned. As the minister has indicated, there are monies that are involved with respect of these cases. There are people that are behind, because you'll find that this is a hitman. When you check the background of the hitman is nothing. However, he is represented by the top lawyer within the province, and then they come with the delaying tactics. So there is another question that was posed: how are we going to fast track the cases as well? There was again the meeting with the judges, prosecution team, and also with the justice team. For instance, in Pietermaritzburg, we're having about 4 courts. However, it's only 3 courts that are in use. So we were requesting another court to be opened in order to fast track, especially these cases. Now they are no longer want us to go to circuits, for instance, to Scottburg, to Matadeni, or to Mtunzini, or to Mtubatuba, because our cases, they take too long. There's a matter here that the minister has mentioned, the matter of Nomaswazi. That matter is in Newcastle. It is on the defense case. Accused number 4, if I'm not mistaken, is being cross-examined. And the delays in that matter are coming specifically from the accused person. The accused person will come to court and say, no, I'm not feeling well. Then the matter will be postponed. And again, further to that, even now the attorneys are taking chances, because now remember, fairness to the trial applies in both ways. If the defense would request a postponement, that accused person is not feeling well, the court must grant. That is the unfortunate part. There is another question that was asked by I'm sorry I didn't get your name. Yes. Especially with the firearms that we confiscate, we prosecute on those matters. However, they do get back to the hands of the accused. I haven't had such cases. All the firearms that were seized and all the firearms that we prosecuted upon, those firearms never returned back to the hands of the accused. For instance, there's a matter here of Gumed. That accused person, we had no clue about him. However, he was arrested in Mandeni with a firearm. When that firearm was confiscated from him, it linked to more than 20 cases. We had to call all the doggeds. We had to get the investigations going. We had to make identity parades and so forth those cases. Hence, if you look at the sentence that was provided by the court, it's a hefty one, 170 years. It's because of the number of the cases. And we're not done with that accused person, because he is still appearing on another matter at Pine Town, the same accused person. So I hope that I've answered your question insofar as the firearms that are concerned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister, for the question regarding the firearms. How do these firearms land into the hands of the killers? There are many instances that I can refer to. One, firearms come from home robberies. When there is house robberies and house breakings, and the owners will have kept their firearms either in the safe or not in the safes, but the suspects are able to get them. If they are in the safe, most of the time during house robberies, they will be forcing the owners to open those safes so they can get those firearms. Or in the absence of people in that residence, they will even at times break that safe and take the firearms away. Some of the firearms are also recovered or taken by the criminals from the private security companies. There's a lot of security companies that we have in the province. Not all of them are able to safeguard their firearms in compliance with the law. A lot of firearms are taken from government security agencies, including the JCPS cluster agencies, as well as the municipalities, securities that are guarding municipality buildings. When I talk about JCPS, include SAPS, SNDF, and correctional services, Metropolis. So many firearms are stolen also from those agencies that lands in the hands of the criminals. Unfortunately, other firearms are hired to the criminals. They are not necessarily stolen. They get hired to criminals by private security, by private individuals, by security agencies. So we've had our own that we've arrested, SAPS members involved with the murder of a councillor as well, that we've arrested, might be using own state firearms in doing those criminal activities. And some firearms are coming from security companies that have not necessarily been reported stolen, but they've been hired to the criminals. So it's all those different means that criminals are able to get these firearms, and they use them for committing these crimes. We are coming up with measures, for instance, as SAPS, to try and trace, put tracking devices in our firearms so that we're able to track the movement of our firearms at any given time, so that we can be able to cap this situation. And we are also engaging with private security companies as we are enforcing the compliance in terms of firearm laws. We conduct a lot of inspections. And whenever we find a firearm belonging to an individual or a company that has not been reported stolen, we conduct a fully compliant inspection with that company. And where we find that the company has failed to comply with the law, we then apply through SIRA and making sure that the company get deregistered, and also to make sure that we apply the law in terms of declaring that company not to fit to own the firearms, and to confiscate those firearms. So there are many efforts that we're embarking on in order to try and cap this proliferation of firearms, of which majority of them are anyway legal to be in the hands of those entities and as well as the individuals in the province. Thank you so much.
Well, maybe on these firearms things, just look at the mixture. Those will be stolen from you as legal South Africans, sold by corrupt or stolen from our own forces, security industry, and those that they cross the border. If you look at the operation that has taken place at Polokwane, about 11 firearms were found. 5 of them were AK-47. 3 of them were R5s. Those are used by the South African Police Service. 1 of them was R1. That is used by the South African Defence Force. And then there was a private rifle and the pistol. So it's a combination of from individuals, from companies, as Mkhwanazi has said, from corrupt, but also there are quite big contingent of firearms that they cross the border illegally, especially from some few neighboring countries that are here. The case of our own members, you know that 2 of our members from Mkhwanazi, they are in for killing Councillor Mlife in Mkhwanazi. So some of these police, before they were hiring these guns, but looks like some of them are involved now in pulling the trigger themselves, as those 2 members from that notorious police station in Mkhwanazi, where it looks like there are quite few of them. But we are not letting them go. They are ours. We put them there. We arrest them, as you know, that some advanced units, like the flying squad at Mpumalanga, those have been arrested ferrying the guns for cash heist and others. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you opt to change your blue for orange, that's what we'll do. we would not hesitate to do that. There is a question about construction matter, issues, mafia. Here in KZN, we did in the statement say it does look like there are three origins and they all come together. It's the taxi industry, is this construction mafia, which is new in the market until in political. That's why a person like Ntuli would have killed a taxi person, would have killed a political person as Taminyembe, and would have been used also to be in the mafia construction. So you get one person, and that person, as the advocate has said, is linked in many other things. You cannot just sit down and investigate one case or one category of case here. It is said in the statement that this team is mandated to look at the political killings, but there are parallel 85 cases. Those are the cases that will go outside the mandate, as for this business forum stroke construction mafia and the taxi industry and any other. So we don't say because it's not a political, but if the investigation leads us there where we go. The hostel matters is a serious one in this province, but not only this province only. In Gauteng is one of the big issues in these two provinces. There will be two notorious hostels in this province. That will be Cliplands and Wamash. So you know that people have been given long sentences in Cliplands. Those people that have been given lives and all that, but after that something has happened, and those people have been arrested. 3 people have been arrested. So it's a question of dealing with criminality. But we believe that one thing that needs to be sorted in the hostel is the social issues of the hostel. There was an attempt, I don't know where it is now, we might ask Human Settlement and local government and other people, of converting those hostels to family units. I'm told there is a resistance and all that kind of stuff. But ours, as the law enforcement agencies, is to deal with whatever form of criminality that is happening there. Elections, indeed. That's why our call towards the end of the statement, we're calling on political parties. Political parties, they know these people. They know. There are some of them who make a big shout to say, where are the police? When they know themselves very well that they are part of the trouble. But they go to the platform, they go to the podiums and ask the police. Here, there are leaders of some political parties where the security has been increased around them, not threatened by other, threatened from their own parties. So they must deal with those things rather than shout hard to the other levels instead of dealing with that. We will be meeting, as the police, we will be meeting these political parties and urging them and giving them the evidence that you don't have to look very far. You look very closely. And also tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to, some of us, to Wanongoma, trying to deal with the issue of the councillors there, meeting the police, and other, including the political leaders, to say, stop shouting on the other side, shout inside, there where the trouble is. Umkhubu usendlini, umthakathu usendlini, yekani kuloku nimemeza ngale. Abantu kukhushulwa isecurity, ikhushulelwa abantu bangakubo, kodwa bona labo bantu bahambe bayokhuluma la ngathi amaphoyisa wenza lutho, bebe bazi ukuthi bona bafanele ukulungisa izinto. Siyabonga. The question of masterminds, khona obuzile ukuthi sibafundile baba, sithe these are people that are ordering, and then we gave those names. We might see them on the statement. So the other name of those that give orders are masterminds. But we did read the list of people that are giving orders to others to kill others.
Just to confirm, my question on Inter-Ministerial was that the
Well, yes, hostels, but also, for instance, the Ngiba case. Ngiba is, I think that is what, 101? Is Ngiba 101 who ordered the allegation? He ordered the hit on the candidate, knowing very well that the ward is secured. So if you order, you know that it is a trend that secured wards are becoming dangerous because somebody knows that if I hit you and there is a by-election, ngiyangena. So eThekwini does have that problem about Ngiba, but also Mlife, that is Mkomazi, that is eThekwini. There is a question of some tenders around water issues and all that. So we do have that problem. Ward 53, those 3 women that were killed here in Anda, those people, I'm told they gave the evidence that they were there to threaten those aunties not to attend that meeting, but they were drunk and they shot at them instead of threatening them and all this kind of thing. But there is this thing of preemptive and also getting on them, though that one is more in Zululand, where people believe that if they shoot these councillors, the collision will change hands. We've got about 3 of those areas where the difference will be 1 or 2. And then it looks like at the present moment, the NFP is on the receiving end there because the court has taken the decision that says they can't replace their candidates because there is a case in court. That's why maybe Mamu Zungu, that's why maybe Mamu Mkunu, that's why Baba Manele, they are all NFP. So if you remove them, it does look like the local government can change hands again. So those are the things that we need to work on. That's why I was saying coalitions in KZN are not discussed, are resolved other way through the barrel of the gun.
All right, we're going to take the second round of questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have sent through the minister's speech that also has, by the way, dates of some of these political cases that are going to court, which is an open invitation for the media to go and attend these court cases and report on them. We're going to take the second round, as I said. We do have a microphone this time. There was a complaint around that. Okay, ENCA, and then I've noted you, my brother. ENCA, and then Guzawen. Okay, go ahead.
Minister, do you think the recommendations of the Mwerane Commission of Inquiry investigating political killings in KwaZulu-Natal are being implemented with agency and speed by those who are advised to do so? It would appear that there is very little that is happening in terms of implementing that from or by those who were advised to do so. What is your take on that? Councillors, most of them through SALGA and KwaZulu-Natal, are calling on the police to fast track the threat analysis assessment in order for them to be provided with security. They say it takes long to receive those threat analysis assessment. Is there any plan to work around that, if any at all, can outline that? Despite the positive work of the task team and some successes that it has registered, it would appear that these attacks, they are on the rise. What is to be done to curb them or prevent them before happening, rather than reacting and arresting after the crime has been committed? Is it possible to prevent the attacks from happening at all? Masizala esifundazweni mhlawumbe General Mkhwanazi Ndonga, if you can indulge us, it would appear that in your province another scourge that is developing is the killing of traditional leaders, Amakhosi Nezinduna. How do you deal with that? Thank you.
All right, that was 4 questions. Go ahead, my brother.
Which issue?
masterminds.
So let's take forward and ask the question, Mr. also the MP stage. Now, often we see top lawyers to represent these people. Is that not the concern for the state?
Just to understand where they get money from, who's funding them, maybe that person it is or can be an accomplice to the matter, because so where is my interest just to go and fund you? What leaves me with the suspect? Maybe the state should zoom on that and find out that, okay, why I should go and pay a senior counsel for this offense, whereas I don't know this offense. How do I know this offense anyway? So that is my concern. Yes, thanks.
All right. Okay, Minister, we're just going to take one more. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Sistema Huso from Iowa. I've got two questions. The first question is directed to the advocate from the NPA. My sincere apologies that I didn't get your surname. Thank you. And now that you are saying there will be a special court in Pietermaritzburg, are you saying all the cases from Zululand, Amajuba, they will all be held in Pietermaritzburg, or this court is going to move around the province? Please clarify that. And the second question is directed to the minister. We do understand that after the attempted murder of Mr. Councillor Manai of Wanangom, the task team went to Zululand to do some investigation, or to conduct some investigation. And the initial information that was obtained by the task team pointed that it was an internal hit within the NSP. Can you confirm or deny that you went there, interviewed, or you posed questions to one of the councillors of the NSP in Nongoma? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sihle. I just want to bring to the attention of this press briefing that we are going to experience some load shedding at 12 o'clock, and that's just now. But maybe let's just take those responses, and then we'll take the last round of questions. Minister. Okay.
Somebody asked about his view, Mavuso. I answered that question, Mavuso, to say within political parties, there are people that go to platforms and shout big. I did not specify, and I don't intend to specify on those matters. I will end there. But it's true that there are intra, that's why we say there are intra and inter, and that is happening. That information you talk about, we have the information. We have the people that they given money to give people money for those people to withdraw and all that kind of thing. So that information is not very wrong, but we are not going to go there at the present moment. Uhambe Lucas. Angizela ukuzobonwa yimina. Morane Commission. Morane Commission was not constituted or given by us, Babu Kok. So those that they commissioned it, they have a better measurement tool. How far have they been covered? But I have seen it from the side of the South African Police Service and all other enforcement agencies who are trying to go with our work. Some of our work is entailed in Morane, some is not. But we are not going to stop, and we did not stop even before for Morane. But overall, there are quite several things that were suggested by Morane there. Maybe those that commissioned it, they might give answer. But from our side, we're satisfied that we are doing that. You asked the question of prevention. Indeed, it will be really good. Maybe Commissioner will PC will add on this question of analysis. We agree. Sometimes our structures are overwhelmed with analysis that are given to us to confirm or disconfirm or whatever the question of that councillor is threatened or not. But we have a little bit of a problem sometimes on these issues, Babu Goka. There are few people that have been arrested for attacking themselves. They just attack themselves so that the analysis gives them the right of having protection. And you find that this protection, or those people that protect you, are your company or your brother's company. So you get the protection, but you give the work at home. So those are sometimes our analysis that we find. Some, they do these things very silly. I don't think, why do they undermine the capacity of the police? One shot his car from inside. And the forensics simply say, but the one shot the car all over, and clearly this car tells you that if this person was inside the car, would be dead. But the person has nothing, and he runs and he resigns after that. So some of these things are obvious. Some of these things are fundraising for those particular people. So, but we do want, and we are trying to work on the capacity from both crime intelligence and the state security. I want to concede, I don't think we are there yet where we can respond as quick as we can. The attacks. What the other question was? Attacks on traditional leaders. Okay, no, that was specific questions to the provincial commissioner. He will answer that. So I failed to beat the load shedding.
The question to the traditional leaders. As the police, for each time we're trying to solve problem, we always trying to establish what are the causative factors. So the issue of traditional leaders is even more difficult, more complex as compared to the one of politicians. Why say that? Because the traditional leaders, most of them are born into those positions. So once there's a conflict between who is the rightful owner, between these two sons, there's going to be a war, and many people die. I'm sure majority of you have been enjoying watching Ushaga on TV these days. And that's just how it comes from. Brothers kill each other. And that becomes a family issue that we tend to have limitation as law enforcement in terms of preventing from happening. Although we try and get the parties to negotiate, but there's a lot of conflicts that emanate from that. It makes it worse for the Indunas, because Indunas are not born into those positions, they get elected in those positions. But that election process of the Indunas into those positions is not like we do with the councillors. So it becomes a problem. And so what makes situation worse is the fact that the government is giving them salaries. You become a chief, you get paid. You become an Induna, you get paid. So they fight over such things. And can we stop those payments? We wish we can, but we cannot, unfortunately. So as our effort to try and prevent those incidents from happening, we're engaging with COCTA and trying to ask provincial government to assist in terms of providing security to these traditional leaders, especially those that are at high risk, because as the police are not mandated to provide security to them. The issues that the minister was talking about, especially on security threat assessments from councillors, the number of wards that we have in KZN, there are thousands of them, a number of councillors that we have in the province, it's almost a conclusion that everyone that becomes a councillor in KZN except the other parties. These three parties, the ANC, IFP, NFP in the main, they all want to have bodyguards. And we don't know why the other parties, DA and the others, ACTP and the likes, they don't want bodyguards. I do not know why there's conflict in only these parties and the others don't necessarily have conflicts. There's something wrong within those political parties that needs to be attended to. It is not our mandate as South African Police Service to conduct these threat assessments. We conduct threat assessment for those that are prescribed in the ministerial handbooks and those that are prescribed in terms of our policies. But for us to be receiving requests to conduct threat assessment, crime intelligence who does that job, they don't have capacity to deal with this high demand. And majority of them are not necessarily because they are threats. There's other factors that are coming to play where people want to hire security companies to protect them. And majority of the time, it is their own private security companies that they want to get employment within municipalities, under the disguise that they are under threat. You'll see some of the councillors who will show you that they were attacked and their vehicles were shot 30 times, but they survived in those vehicles. Then you wonder, how did you escape such attack? And they do that because they want to motivate so that they can get security to protect them. So we try to engage with COGTA in many of these issues involving councillors, involving traditional leaders, with the aim of trying to prevent it from happening, and also if it does happen, so that they can assist in terms of providing protection. But we as the police, we're going to continue engaging different stakeholders to help us to try and come up with solutions in this regard. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me start with the last question concerning the issues of the court. We will remember that we have matters that has jurisdiction in the High Court. Also, the same matters do have jurisdiction in lower courts, in regional courts to be specific. Now, when it comes to the issue of expediting all these courts matters in essence, we have been engaging, to start with the current regional president who has taken over from regional president in Nzimande, to identify courts that will specialize in political matters in four corners. For instance, there must be a court in the South Coast. There must be a court somewhere on the side of Newcastle. There must be a court on the side of the Zululand. There must be a court on the side of Pietermaritzburg and so on. Those matters will be the matters that will be prosecuted in regional courts. The regional court has the same sentences with the high courts. However, there are those matters that we feel they are a bit complex. They must be taken to the High Court. For instance, the matter that was currently dealing with, the matter of Sindiso Makak, that matter could not have been adjudicated at a lower level. It was supposed to be taken in the High Court. Now, hence we are saying, from our engagement is to say that there are matters that are of the High Court jurisdiction. Now, Judge President, right, you must give us another court in Pietermaritzburg. We must have another court in Mtubatuba on the side of Zululand. We must have another court in Scottburg that will deal with those matters. So with the issue of the courts, that is where we are. At least for now, because now remember these matters are taking so long. We have the matter of Sindiso Makak that is going to start now, proceeding with the trial from January up until end of March. It's only one matter. We are not even sure whether we're going to finish. So that is why now we're trying to engage with the stakeholders in respect of these matters. Now let's get to the issue of the masterminds. The minister here indicated that you have Fiso Guhle, who is accused number 5 in the matter of Senzo Meyiwa, are represented by Advocate Msholo. That matter I dealt with, it was me and Advocate Slepe at Esikawin. I was still in the magistrate court by then. One of the issues that emanated from the changing of the attorneys, Advocate Slepe is indicating to the court why the accused person cannot get a legal aid, because it seemed to be an issue with finances. And the accused person indicated before the court, Mr. Slepe, you don't know my packet. We as the state, the only thing that we can do is to investigate the financial status of the accused person. Now it becomes so difficult to investigate the financial status of the person who is representing the accused person. We had a meeting. There was a call from Advocate Shamila Patohi. We are on organized crime unit here in Durban. She was saying, we have a scourge of enablers. Enablers are those people that are providing financial means to the hit orderers. And then they are sitting at the back. Now we must find means to get to the enablers, so that at least we can be able to charge them with your money laundering, with your fraud and everything else. We can be able to identify who are funding those people. We had a matter here of Mkodisi Tabashe, the person that have killed Minentle Mkizi. The judge, Nomonde Zondo was there. The judge was at pain. He was asking me, I was addressing the court, but Mr. Twega, where are the people that have ordered this accused person to kill Minentle? I indicated to the court, we are trying by all necessary means. We do get cell phone records. We try to analyze the cell phone records and to see the communication from the cell phone records. We do have people on the ground level to identify those people that are funders enabling those hit orderers. To the extent, the only case so far that is off record that we've managed is the matter that the minister has referred to. The minister of Fellow Kwakendluv, he called him Induna. In that case, we have money. Fellow Kwakendluv, he is a hit order. In that case, he was arrested, he was prosecuted, and he was found guilty. The only time that we can manage to get the hit orderers is to have those people that were there in the meeting and come forward is to say, now this is the position, this is what really happened. In the matter of Fisoguhle, the one that minister referred to, where he was convicted about 6 life sentences in Eskawin, we had a person, we had a witness who was in the meeting, who said, I was there in the meeting. The accused person came with this person and this person and this person. We tried to follow on that information as the investigation, but we couldn't really manage to get any other proper, but we haven't closed that docket. It's similar to the issue of Minentle Dlamini, because while we were still there in court, now I was still busy speaking with the members of the family. There was an information that emanated there as to say, after the hit, they went somewhere else. They met who and who and who. And those matters as well, I reported to the investigation team as to say we must follow that. It is not easy to get to the enablers without having people that were inside during those conspiracies. If I may.
Thank you so much, Advocate. Very comprehensive response, just taking us through some of the issues and ramblings that you're, dealing with on a daily basis. let us take the last round. I cannot see anything, you'll forgive me, so just give me a shout. Let's take some fresh hands first of all. You know, because this briefing hardly happens, or rather it happens ever so a few times, we are going to take all the questions, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to take fresh hands first, and then we'll take some follow-up questions. I see one there, yeah, I see, yeah, with a cell phone. Okay, go ahead.
So it's somebody from Milton for this question is probably for the Commissioner.
Can you just speak up for us, please?
Okay, I'm sorry, somebody from Milton for this question is for the Provincial Commissioner relates to Morotu's killing in Nongo. So we understand that before she was killed, there was that voice note from a municipal official in Nongo who said that there will be killing after the IFP was removed from the council. So we understand that the policy was voting for president after Morotu's killing. We want to know if that person is a suspect or if he's been charged.
All right. EWN?
I don't know whether it could be directed, I think, to the provincial commissioner with this regard, not to go into the whole investigation and whatsoever, but do your police as it stands, Commissioner, have some information with regards to the matter of AKA that would be pleasing to the public? And the reason why I'm saying it would be pleasing to the public, he was not just a celebrity. This is someone who embraced this country. This is someone who performed in all the countries that he performed with a South African flag on his mic. This is someone who was preaching and shouting South Africa all over the world. But it seems the ball has dropped when it comes to this. And we're saying this because when we spoke to SAPS during that whole week when the family visited Florida and the mourners and the police said they would be making constant updates. But I do believe that some of those may jeopardize the proceedings of the case. But Commissioner, do we have at least anything tangible that says we are getting there?
All right, Nijum? No problem.
Where exactly, I know you spoke about the various courts, but is it only in KZN or would it be countrywide as well?
Okay. Is there a hand? Oh, Lapaya.
Okay. You see, Mr. President, so I'm not happy with your answers. So in relation to Master Man's issue, because for me they are central to all this. Why we here is nearly because of these people. So you said, okay, it was difficult just to go and find sources and find where money is coming from to pay for the senior council of these people. As you yourself said, when you look at them, because they can see that this guy is no money anymore. But the question is, how does he afford to get the service of the senior council? That's the main issue. We cannot deal with that. So of course we're not going to win this battle anyway, because it doesn't end there. These hitmen go down and go without mentioning the masterminds. We know when they find in prison, they look for classification for food. They don't. Now they get money in prison to eat very nice. They eat in restaurants. They sell who? Waters. They are dating to the waters. When they live a good life, the person is not feeling anything that is in prison. These masterminds are supporting their families. That is why this statement cannot reveal the masterminds. Now you mentioned the issue of advocate Atoy. She did raise the concern, but where would I want that? Because I don't understand why the state cannot come to me and say, all right, do you are paying insurance representing by somebody here in this country or elsewhere. So we can do that. We can come to our child, give us your bank account, what you know, who's putting your money to go to court today. We'll make it simple. Now, if you cannot deal with the fact, I don't think, okay, I don't know what's wrong here. Because, you know, this team here is needed. I think that's not convincing. Now it's 5 years. It's 6 years. We're still here. Because we cannot find customers.
All right, I think your question has been noted. That is a follow-up. Let me just see some fresh hands, please. And then, is there someone on the side? No. Okay, we're taking your last question. Go ahead.
There seems to be another sketch with regards to killing. I don't know if you've noticed, especially in this province, the killing of police officers. Police in this week, I think every month release statement, or every week release a statement that police officers who have been shot in during what seems to be their duty calls was also duty. I do remember a Kenyan sergeant that was killed in Mustang, some killed in there seems to be that. What are police doing in this regard? Because, you know, it's a different issue to say there's criminals wandering around, but it now becomes more very difficult when those criminals are now killing those who are supposed to be getting cracked. Is there any intervention in this regard? Thank you.
All right, those are the questions, Minister Generals as well as Advocate, which definitely does bring our press conference to a conclusion, but following the responses. So, Minister. Okay.
Let me start with the time frames insofar as these courts are concerned. There are no time frames that have been set, but at least we have requested that by the beginning of next year, we must have these courts. We seem to be in agreement insofar as that is concerned. And further to that, we also indicated that these courts will be only provincial or not. Yes, I'm just talking about the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I'm not talking about any other province. I'm not sure what is happening in other provinces. Then there's the issue how difficult it is to go to Mshololo and ask Mshololo, what is your interest in this matter? It is very difficult. It is not an easy thing to be done. Remember here, for us, when we are arresting the accused person, we are saying you have committed specific offense. Now we will want to investigate you in all other things. When you're applying for Section 205s, your bank details, your cell phone records, the judges and the magistrates will say, no, this is a suspect. There is a charge against him. Therefore, I'm going to endorse that these investigations must proceed. Now, when it comes to the lawyer, it becomes so difficult. The lawyer is there representing Fiso Kuhlendul. And then we are coming to the lawyers to say, but where do you get the money? He will not answer you. That is the biggest challenge that we're having. Up until we have at least the means to indicate that because of A, B, and C, legally now, within the legal framework, we can be able to go and investigate that particular person. Because even if you would go to the bank account of that particular individual, you will find 50,000. So what are you going to do with that? Because I know this is my 50,000 rand. Are you going to ask, where did you get? He is going to tell you that, no, I don't have a duty to disclose that to you. Further to that, what are you going to say? That is where the biggest challenge we have, up until we have at least a bit of evidence is to say, you advocate, you might have been involved in this matter in this way and in this way and then in this way. Then from there, at least we have something that we are going to use in order to make an application to the court is to say, allow us to investigate this particular individual. Otherwise, with regard to that, because now you'll remember there's issues of rights, constitutional rights, legal privileges. So those are the challenges that we're facing. I hope I'm answered.
So there's no act that allows the state just to say, okay, because maybe, masterminds can carry cash and give me as a lawyer. That can be checked because, if you're getting into my account, then you find, okay, I put it on 50,000. But you can calculate, okay, how many times I've been in court for controlling. More than 10 times. I charge a day. So now, that should tell you that, okay, if the so-called paymaster is paying me in cash, that might not so that, but anyway, you cannot argue with me because I should not know anyway. If you say you can't do it, accept that. But what tells me that you can't do it anyway, so maybe we should accept that. Whatever you need. You
see the problem that we're having. Even before I came to the DPP's office, there was one lawyer, I will never mention the name of that lawyer. He was seen in private parkings having cash of money in a big plastic bag. So that matter was followed and investigated. Because now you can see now we have at least a suspicion that now this person must explain as to why did you have to carry this kind of money. Outside of that, we don't have, we're bound by legal frameworks. That is the unfortunate part. And they are lawyers themselves. They know the law. Thank you.
A court was at this meeting. Okay, maybe there should be a call from the state to ask this senior counsel and tell them, guys, can you see that, okay, you are not helping us in any of this order? Of course, we're not the poor of this. We're not, can we ask questions? Can we ask one question 4 times? The intention of the senior counsel is to convince me as well, so that I forget how did I answer him for the first question, but it will come back in different ways, in the same question. Then I ask differently. Then you catch me say, but no, now they're making money of that, but in doing that, they're defending the criminals. Because they make money. Now this go in these political killings so that the individuals can make money. But when the state comes in, where is the issue of them saying, listen, this is not good for my country. This is for my country because these people that are being killed are fathers, daughters, mothers of individuals. But the law is happy to make millions out of.
Can I suggest, I see that our colleagues also do have deadlines to meet.
Yes.
Can you maybe have a conversation with the advocate because you clearly want to get deeper into the issues. So it's not a no, it's just later. It's just not
Yeah, thank you.
no problem. All right, the on to the next questions.
Minister, perhaps I think it might be necessary. It's something that I've been planning to do a frequent press briefing to talk about policing in general in the province, because we tend to have press briefing like this and questions that are not related to the subject comes in. But we'll try and respond to this one. The question from News 24 regarding the voice note that was circulated and the person identified and that was questioned. We want to know if he's our suspect. The answer I'm going to give is that the SAPS respect human rights. Where is human? Oh, there is 24. Okay. We respect human rights. Therefore, we are not going to stand here before the citizen and make accusation and accuse people from being involved in crime if we don't have evidence. We'll only talk about people that we've arrested and they've appeared before court. Only then we can talk about them. So for now, I'm sure even yourself wouldn't want us to say you are a suspect and tell the citizens that you're a suspect and you have not charged him. We don't want litigations on that, so I will not do that. The question regarding the AKA, it's always going to be said, Mr. Goge maybe might want to share, because he's privy perhaps to that information and he communicated to the Republic. Maybe the other news networks or media houses did not know about it, what was asked also in another engagement that had nothing to do with the murder that happened at Florida. But you're asking this question anyway. So I hope as I'm responding again today, I appear in another session, I'm not going to be asked the same question. So I want to encourage you to switch on, go back to the ENCA news channel, and maybe they'll share the clip that they spoke about a week or two ago. And I'm going to repeat what I said to them. At least we have more than 6 terabytes of data that we've collected and the team is analyzing. I said when I started that the matter happens, and it happened in a public place. There's many people that were involved. There are many phone calls that happened during the night, and there are a lot of video footage that we'll have to analyze. So the team has already studied more than 6 terabytes of data. We've downloaded more than 25 cell phones already as we speak, and the team is analyzing every communication in those cell phones that we've. Don't ask me whose cell phones are those. It's all people of interest, and cell phones that we feel might contain some information that belongs to people that, in either way, they might have been in the area or they might have communicated with the deceased or any other people that are associated with the deceased that will help us to conclude our investigation. A number of people have been interviewed, and again, those that might have been present during the incident and those people that were not necessarily present during the incident, people of interest to us that we've interviewed. We've identified at least a couple of vehicles that were used. Some of vehicles were used as getaway, some of vehicles that were used as spotters, some of the vehicles that might have been used by people after the fact that we suspect that they are suspect in this regard. We've identified at least 1 firearm that has been used and positively identified to have shot and killed Mr. Forbes on that eve. We are, and such, are in our position as well. And we, as SAPS, have, as I said, identified few individuals that we're going to, maybe after discussing with the NPA, we might then start bringing them in. As I said earlier, it is an investigation that we don't want to rush. It's an investigation that we'll want to get to the bottom of what was the main cause. That's why we're going to, after collecting whatever information that we collect, we'll engage with the NPA and discuss this, because we don't work alone as a South African Police Service. For any matter that we're investigating, we are guided by our colleagues, NPA, who then tells us whether there's any other additional information that we might want to get. And once we've collected everything and they are satisfied that we have a strong case and we've got all the other people involved in terms of the murder that happened, that we'll be able to prosecute successfully, only then we'll be able to effect arrests, and only then we'll be able to present the matter in court. So until then, we are still investigating. And I'm sure you will appreciate the work of the police, that they don't come and stand in front of the public, talk, and go home and sleep. We talk and we go back and we investigate and we follow, we read, we study, we analyze, and there's a lot of work that is done by the South African Police Service. So the citizen must rest assured that we have done a lot in order to try and crack this case, and there's still a lot to be done, and there's still a couple of interested people that we've identified who were not even closer to the scene on the day, that we might want to get more information on them, and perhaps they might help us in terms of closing this big puzzle that you are dealing with. I hope I answer your question, and I hope it's the last question I'm asked to put this one. Thank you.
Well, this is the same. I was also listening to this. I don't know if people don't listen to other channels, because what Mkwanas is telling is what almost a week or a week and a half this kind of briefing. This thing of, if it were me, I would simply say, everybody and anybody, when your client loses the case, that money must be recouped from you. You must tell where you got it, because some of these guys, they represent people that are cash heist. And then, definitely, if you are representing a person who runs a cash heist, it's a cash heist money that pays you. So the forfeiture unit must come close to you. As this guy loses case, tell where you got money, get the money, get your house and everything. So I fully agree with you. The subject you are raising is a subject we'll pursue it with advocate, but generally, all of us will need to. There is this thing of pro bono. Well, there is nothing pro bono. We pay for that case. That's how silly sometimes we are. You rape somebody and it's a pro bono. The pro bono is paid by the state, by the way. You are paid by paid by the taxpayers to defend the rapist. So it's something that is happening. But I like that question. I wish to take that discussion further, because I'm on your side on this one.
Thank you, sir.
That really some of these things must be explained. The rounding up, there was no specific question, but I do want to say, you say 5 years is still happening, and okay, you had that clip. I just wonder if this team wasn't there and we don't have this list, where would be in this province? I'm sure we'd be really swimming in the blood. Indeed, we haven't arrived where we're supposed to go, but there is some ground covered. Remember, all this work we talk about is the work that happened after our president has stood on that Inyala that day and said, no more. And this was June, when this was established in July, when there was intensity of murders leading to Mtulu's murder on that particular time. And remember, before that there was zero arrest. And this team came with all these lists that we are reading. So let's give some credit where it belongs. I think the team has done the work. Have we done the work? Yes. Are we where we're supposed to be? No. We still have to walk forward. The days when there is no killing, with them is where there is no political or business killing or tax killing and all that kind of thing. I think we need to work towards that. By look of things and the work that has been done, sometimes, in a very dangerous situation by this team. This team sometimes itself is guarded. We guard the guard because of the dangerous situation that they face in all time. But they are covering the ground, and I agree. We have orderers, but it does look like there's nothing wrong going a little bit up to the upstairs. Keep going in the upstairs, because these are people that order the issue is that there will be some people that order the orders, or those that are ordering. So the day will be best when you reach at the top of the pyramid, when you come to the epic center of the pyramid. So they keep going there. All the time we've been arresting the trigger pullers, but now we're beginning to say, it's so and so who sent me for this reason and all that. I think we'll go on that one. The very last one here is a call I made. we usually have these problems, and we are all there when the issue is hot. One hot issue has been Mhlabialina. Most of you came there. But now, because things are good and all that kind of stuff, because Mhlabialina, well, almost nobody speaks about it. And when Judah died, it was a big issue. But nobody asks now, because nobody speaks. Nobody asks us because we've arrested 107 of those people. One of them, brothers, doing 55 years. We've arrested more than 180 cars. Some of them have gone back to, we have arrested even the people that have pulled the trigger to Judah and all that kind of stuff. So it does worry us that when things are boiling and hot, it makes news. But if the response and the achievements don't make news, I must, from our side, it does. One area that everybody has spoken about, it might not be you, is Wamajola in Port St. John's. They literally, media camped there. You showed the pictures where women took their kids to go and sleep in the bush. They don't sleep in the bush anymore. In June 16, there was a soccer tournament there, which the community made to say we want to see our kids playing and all that. There's a soccer tournament, and now it doesn't make news. It's a request that bad times, please make news, but good times also, please make news. That is coming from us.
This is the Minister. There have been several requests. I would just request maybe just 2 questions that the Minister would respond. Yes, this is the Minister. What can you respond to? I'm sorry?
From SABC News. This is inamba yamacala lawa sengikwazi ukuthi nibophe kuwona mhlawumbe ngasephinde uphefumule ngey'nqumo ze-Moerane Commission ukuthi khona ezazi ukuthi ngabe mhlawumbe ziya-implementwa yini. Okunye uthinte nalapha ekubulaweni kwamakhansela okubukela nosopolitiki engathi sekuphinde kuyadlanga nawo kwesifunda saKwaZulu-Natal leyo mthatha.
Indaba ye-Moerane Commission ingaphendulwa kakhulu abantu ababeyicelile i-Moerane Commission. Thina samaphoyisa khona esikwenzayo ukuyona ebesivele sikwenza ukubopha kwabantu besingalindanga yona. Kodwa-ke lokho abakuhlawumbisile siyaqhubeka nokukwenza, kodwa ukuthi konke kuyenzeka yini mhlawumbe ababecela ukuthi kwenzeke kungenzeka. Leli thimba elikhona elibhekene nokubulawa kwabantu kwezepolitiki kuze kube manje kusuka ngo-2011 amakhansela abulewe awu-52. Abantu baboshiwe abakuleli amakhansela. Amakhansela afa kakhulu awe-ANC, kube aweNkatha, kube awe-NFP. Bese kuba-ke athe khona ama-process mabili awe-EFF, bese kuba elilodwa le-ACDP. Kulawo kubulawa kuboshwe abantu cishe ukuba abaningi. Abantu abacishe ababoshiwe emacaleni awu-321. Abantu ababoshiwe cishe ukuba bangaphezulu kwa-338. Nabantu ababoshiwe baboshelwe ukubulala amakhansela kuneminyaka eminingi abayitholile. Abantu abawu-18 cishe ukuba bathole ama-life sentence bebonke, bese kuthi abantu abawu-36 emva kwalokho bathola iminyaka esukela eminyakeni eyi-10 kuya eminyakeni ewu-73 kuphelile ukubulawa kwabantu. Kodwa uma ubuka bonke labantu abagwetshiwe